All right, so here we are in the design phase, getting it set up the way that we think it's going to come out, which it never fully does in any project. But we use recycled lumber for the majority of it, especially for the structure of the boat bed, and start building out the legs. Davey, our 7-year-old, is super creative and loves to get involved. And you can see that setting up the curves there, kind of eyeballing what we wanted to get. Getting out how we thought the bow is going to look. There's no math in that, so a lot of it. So that's going to cause a problem later on. You'll see I didn't put any structural supports for the bow to help pull the strips in the middle between the stem and the first frame. You start seeing the strips go on one by one. It's that gorgeous California redwood. Each one is glued on individually, steam bent, and then glued on. There's no staples used at all. But you can see here as it's starting to get closed up on the right hand side, and then as well up on the left hand side. And each strip goes on. It's super painful, slow process, especially if you're trying to get something done quickly. You can staple them, but I just didn't want to go that route. So took my time and did what we could. Yep, there you go. So that side's closed up, and you'll see as we begin to flip it, you'll see the problem there. You can see the pieces of redwood don't quite meet up to the frame that I want it to be, and it's going to cause an issue later on. Once we get it flipped over, we can start putting on those last pieces there. Get the mattress in to kind of test fit and make sure it's going to work. Just a little bit of a sanity check there. Start putting on the transom, putting it on the best we can. Tapping it. I screwed this in. I didn't actually glue the transom on. I wanted that to be a little different. But you can see the last pieces going on there on the side, and all the clamps to hold them on. And getting the bow planned out there is kind of fun. Trying to get it to fit in exactly the way we wanted it to. And there's Davey going at sanding, trying to get the bow cover there, the floor of the bow to fit. And there's the first wipe down of the redwood. It's absolutely gorgeous. There's no coloring whatsoever, so this is all natural, just super nice. And get it outside. Redwood can darken if it's left out there. And you can see there, wow, I mean, look at that spacing. It's pretty off, unfortunately. But we'll fix it later on. This whole time I'm racking my brain how I want to fix it, but we finally get to it and decide what we were going to do. It's just absolutely gorgeous. Look at that beautiful coloring. And we're getting some filler put in. And there's where I make another big mistake. Didn't calculate properly from the US from metric, and ended up with 9-weight glass, which the epoxy never fully took to as far as soaking it in. And so I had to do a couple of patches here and there. But you can still see the weave when the light hits it properly, or if you hit it at the right angle. But that's all good. It's a kid's bed, and it'll take a beating, so I'm not worried about it. Yeah, you can see the weave there. We get our feet on. I'm a huge fan of furniture feet with these. If it's put on carpet, it's not too bad, but on hardwood, wood twists and moves. So there you're getting the ash caps laid out, over top of the framing structure there, and start getting the bed for the floor for the bed in there. Yeah, so this thing is super massive and heavy because that's basically 3/4 ply at the bottom. Get the walls put in, and take it back out and let it get some more light. Don't get much sunlight sometimes here in the springtime, so we utilize the sunlight we can. Start walling it up, closing in any of the framing, the old frame that you'll never see there. That stem portion is just too much, and I should have cut it out earlier, but I slowly got to it and got it knocked out. So I thought it would be somewhat aesthetically pleasing. Getting the step-in portions there, so kids don't have to jump up to get on top of the bed, and planning out the caps in the front. This is a fun process, trying to get seamless transitions moving forward. There's more on Instagram that you can see if you really want to follow that. Using kind of a clamping system there, an old school musical clamping system of just pressure. And then there's the bow cover. And getting that thing perfectly fit was fun. And then we're going to take that bow cover, add some plywood to the ash just to help stabilize it a little bit, and use all the clamps in the world to clamp it all down. Route at that inside portion and then drop that ash in. I wanted to do kind of like a Chris Craft style, as you can see, so that was pretty important. Yep, use that redwood, the same redwood that I use in the hole, so I can kind of tie the redwood in as well and inlay all that in. So I'm not a big fan of using paint, so if I can use wood, I'll use wood any day of the week. Got my tester back out there, and all the brothers climbing up into the bed, checking it out. Then we are getting the final sanding done on it, taking out any and all the runs, getting ready for the last couple coats of epoxy after the flip. And there's the first coat, the first 2 coats this morning, and then as you can see here, I just poured epoxy in to kind of give that extra siding a little more structural integrity. And it worked out perfect, so I didn't have any issues with that. No bleed through. So, and man, you know what? I'm super happy with it. You can see from the pictures here, it's absolutely gorgeous. The coloring is absolutely fantastic. It's amazing. Very little runs. The thing's gorgeous. I'll do a little bit of wet sanding on it. Overall, not bad. Thanks for watching.